Farley Bay Outdoors. Woo, woo, woo. Quack, 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 quack. So, I decided to make a quick video. I'm going to try to keep it as quick as possible because this could go into an hour-long process. But I'm going to show you guys, take you a walkthrough of my gear and kind of how I pre-organize everything and get everything set up to hit the woods. Okay, so tomorrow morning I'm going to try to hit the woods, be taking the Gnu boat out, and I want to show you guys how I transport my stuff in the Gnu and kind of how I set everything up. Okay, so let's get to it. Alright, so you'll see this big yellow tote I've got here. You can pick these up at Lowe's or a Walmart, places like that. I actually got this one at Lowe's. It's the big one. I can't tell you how many liters it is or gallons or whatever. It's probably got a sticker on it. It's a 50 gallon. Okay, it does not come with hinges. Okay, these are little wire ties, little rubberized wire ties that I bought. I think I bought those at Dunham's. You get like a whole roll of it. Move this over here and I'll show you guys. You get a whole roll of this stuff. Okay, I give $6.99 for it, and if you look up some coupons and stuff like that, you can get it discounted. But right there, easy twist rubber wire stuff. You can see here I've got extra gear, extra straps, products to treat scent and stuff like that with. And of course I've got my Vortex binoculars. And this is exactly how I set everything up. Okay, so I've got all that in that little tote that fits down inside my big tote here, and that's a 5 gallon tote, that one is. But little tote carries all my minor small things. I set my binos there. Then I have my saddle. Okay, on the left side of my saddle here I have all of my ropes and connections and am steel and everything I need to hang my sticks and my platform. And tomorrow I'm actually going to carry an extra strap. It's actually one of the original straps that came with the XOP sticks I have. I'm going to carry this and use it as a foot aider, so that'll get me about 1 stick higher in the tree tomorrow. Okay, so there's. All right, so we've got our small crate, my binos, and then I stack my saddle on top of that. Okay, these are my First Light Phase bibs. Down here in the bottom you'll see I've got some cedar needles and stuff off of this cedar tree over here at the house. And what I do before I go hunting, I always grab me a handful of those and just throw them in the bottom of the crate. You don't have to have a lot. They put off a good aroma. Helps with cover scent and stuff like that. Okay, now this looks like a small little pack, but it's not. It's because I've got you zoomed out. But I carry my First Light Phase Edition jacket on the outside of my pack. You can see here I have 2 little cam buckle strap things that I have secured to the bag itself. Okay, it's attached to the MOLLE webbing of the bag. I picked those up at like Walmart or anywhere like that. You can pick those up dirt cheap. If you break one, go buy a new one. They're cheap, right? So I keep my jacket on the outside of my pack here. I don't wear it in, and the reason for that is it gets extremely hot whenever you're in this Gnu boat. Okay, and you're heading down the water and you get to where you're going, then you have to unload all this stuff out onto the bank and then put it all on. Okay, and so it gets real hot, so I keep it strapped to the outside of my pack here. But you'll see I have my XOP X2 sticks. If I had it my way, I would have a 5th stick, but I don't have it my way right now, so I'm just running 4 sticks. I've had these, I guess this will probably be season number 2 I've been running these sticks. I got one stick out earlier and I noticed just a little bit of a bend right here. You can see that from the last time I went hunting with it. So I don't know exactly what I done there, but I must have put enough force or weight on it to bend that. So otherwise they've held up good, no cracking or anything like that. But I keep my saddle platform right here attached to the pack, okay, on the bottom side here. And I'm not going to dig all this stuff out, guys, but you get the idea. I've got my camera arm, my 4th arrow camera arm in here. I've got the base that mounts to the tree in here as well. And then I carry an empty bottle of water. You can imagine what that's used for, okay? And then in my other pockets here, I carry my grunt call and snacks and extra water. All right, so I keep that. You can see this. I had to jerry rig this. It's not a bad idea to keep some kind of cordage. This is actually micro cord. Works really good for zippers and stuff like that when they break. I've had this pack for, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 years now. But it came with little, you know, cheap rinky dinky, you know, pull tabs here. It's some kind of cordage. The problem I've found with these is the way they do this cordage is it's not all the way through and through. It's like glued or crimped somehow into the tips of this little pull tab. So if you pull on this hard enough, boom, it breaks off, which is what happened to this one, okay? I just zip it down like that. Yeah, I could take this thing off and attach it, you know, when I got up in the tree or whatever, but just to keep all moving parts together and not separate for having to lose things and stuff like that, I keep it mounted to the arm, okay? And it's just a little cheap pack. You can pick those up at Walmart or wherever. But that's my pack. That's how I have it set up, you know, for me. And I keep this tightened down. And then when I get ready to load this, oh man, excuse me, this goes in first. Okay, that goes in first because it's the biggest, bulkiest thing to have to deal with. Okay, and then I take my first light bibs and I lay those right over top of the sticks and stuff. Okay, you're fixing to see why I do that. All right, so this is why I put my bibs down there, because they're one of the first things that go on. Either I put them on at the boat ramp, if I'm taking the canoe. If I'm not taking the canoe, this whole system still fits in the back of my Jeep over there. Okay, so it works and applies the same. But when I'm going down to the lake, I like to lay my bibs down there first. I always double check that I have my stabilizer on. I make sure I shoot my bow either the day before or the day of or whatever. Make sure you shoot your bow and make sure it's tuned up. And then I keep my release right up here. Now I should carry a secondary release, which currently I don't have, so maybe one day down the road I'll get a secondary release. But that all goes in there just like that, and you'll notice it'll have just enough room for me to shut this lid. Okay, lock it down. There you go. All right, so the next question is, we didn't see your boots. I keep my boots in here. I throw it's like this Scent-A-Way stuff crap, powdered stuff in my boots. I always do that. Helps keep your boots dried out, and put that stuff down in there, just beat it around a little bit, which I didn't do earlier, and overlook the mess in the Jeep, because I practically live out of this thing. I always make sure I have my life jackets, okay, and I'll be running solo tomorrow, so I'll probably just take the one, but I keep my boots in here until I get to where I'm going. When I get to the boat ramp, I pull the Hey Dudes off, and these go on. The Jeep didn't have a fancy wiring harness or kit or anything like that, so I had to install one in it to haul the boat around. Not sponsored by any of these, but they're cool. So we got the 15-foot 4 Gnu boat. I always keep my trolling motor on here, my battery on here, just in case I have an engine fail or something of that nature and I need to be able to, you know, get back to the dock or whatever. But you see I also have a paddle here, and I have another paddle in the back. I keep a rope up front to tie off to, and what I do is I've got a carabiner, and it'll clip into this eyelet on the front of the vessel here, and there you go. And got to have you buying your stern lights, right? And these right here I bought it, well actually they come with the boat when I got it, but you can get these at Walmart and they're like less than $10. So get you a set of those. I installed just like a rubber floor mat. You can pick that up at Tractor Supply, I think's where I actually got that. And that helps cut down on the noise and stuff that you make. Let's take this for example here. You can hear if that hits like that, you know. And then throw it down in the bottom here. And that sound just deadens itself, right? I keep this on here just in case I'm tied up next to a tree or something. Don't want it scuffing up the boat too bad, not that it ain't already. Keep your fuel tank topped off. Most of the time I've got a little over a half a tank now. That'll be plenty for what I'm doing tomorrow. Over here is an old Kayak light. So that's I've got my bow and stern lights there. I always keep a set of tools to be able to work on this thing because sometimes it's stubborn. So, but that's the setup. All right, so there you go. This is how I transport all of my gear when I'm heading off to the lake to hunt or what have you. Okay, and you know what you don't see is, you know, I have extra stuff, you know, like in my pockets and stuff in my jacket. I've got stuff in my backpack, you know, extra little things I need. 90% of what I've got tool wise or something I need to work with, ropes and stuff like that, is all in that saddle. Okay, everything is in the saddle, stays in the saddle, all my ropes and stuff like that. And always pre-check your stuff too, your gear. I always double check everything before I go up a tree. But all this stuff you can see, guys, this is a lot of gear. Okay, I have a 5-gallon tote down there at the bottom. It carries all the miscellaneous stuff, so it's not scattered everywhere and on top of everything and running around in the bottom of this tote. Okay, and then I have my binos, and then I have my saddle there, and then all my clothes and all my gear, backpack, tree steps, everything. You can see this entire setup and system fits in a 50-gallon tote, and I honestly have room to put more stuff in there if I chose to. Okay, I could fill those little spaces up and those little gaps, but there's just no need in it. I've kind of got it down to a system as to what I need and what I don't need, and this is what works for me. Okay, so maybe this will help you guys out. And like I said, this is very modular. This system I've got set up here is very modular. So say I'm not using the boat or the GNU boat, you know, this will literally fit in the back of the Jeep. Okay, well, maybe you ain't got a Jeep, maybe you ain't got a whatever, you know, put it in the back bed of your truck. If it comes a big rainstorm, I wouldn't worry too much about it. You have to worry a little bit about water getting in. So if it is raining, just be aware that, you know, these little holes right here along the edge of the lid can let water in. It's not 100% waterproof, but you could buy those little gasket things and put on the lid and create a pretty much solid airtight system with one of these totes, and they're very inexpensive. So get you one, get set up, get out there, get on the lake, get on the water. Okay, get on the lake, get on the water, get out there and get on some deer. We've seen quite a few deer this year. Just ain't had a good shot on them, or ain't had the right one to walk through yet. So we're gonna hope for in the morning, you know, we're gonna hope. So anyway, there you go. There's your video, brought to you by Farley Bay Outdoors.